Hello and welcome back to the channel. Today we have this position. It's black to move and win, so you can pause the video to find the answer on your own. Okay, so this pawn is a little bit close to promotion, so we have to figure out a way to stop it and win this game. If you thought about to move this like rook to a2, it doesn't work because white can push and there is no possible way to stop this pawn. Okay, now you might say, well, the only other open file to stop a pawn is the G file. So what if we, no, sorry, not the G file, the bishop controls it, sorry, the F file. And after white pushes, we have rook here, and we can stop the pawn. And we are winning this game after we stop the pawn and win it. Actually, this is not good. This is drawing. This is a draw. The reason for that, white can play this beautiful move, bishop to F5. Of course, we cannot take that, it's a free queen. And the only way to actually stop this pawn, because what is white is threatening right now, threatening to play bishop all the way to c8, defended by the pawn. And what white is trying to do, trying to block the rook from attacking the pawn on b8. That's why we have to play this move, rook to b8, attacking the pawn. He plays bishop here, and the rook is kind of stuck. That's right, it is stuck. It's always going to be stuck. And, we're going to try to get our king a little bit closer. And whenever the king gets in, trying to attack the rook in any kind of way, bishop to c3 is the only move that keeps the draw, because anything else will be losing if white had the opportunity to push the pawn. So, white's going to try to attack the rook. We can just take this, and after here or here, it doesn't really matter which way. Rook takes pawn, and after king takes, the bishop defends this pawn, even if we want the king to defend the pawn. For example, king here, and king here. Now, these are not going to move. He can attack however he wants, bishop here, 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 and it's going to end up as a draw. So, it doesn't work. So it's not rook to a2, and it's not rook to f2. Then, surely there's no rook sacrifice here. What the hell is that? Rook check here is not possible because of the bishop. So what do we actually do? Well, only one move, and I'm really hoping you managed to find it. It's a really crushing move. It is bishop d4, sacrificing the bishop. Now here, what is the idea? The idea, we're trying to win this pawn. And for example, if he take this bishop, we rook take, king goes here or here to try to defend this bishop, and then we take this pawn. Here, and then we just get the king closer to defend this pawn, and slowly but surely, this is winning for black. The reason, there are checks everywhere, and we can win this pawn. The king can get closer and infiltrate. The one bishop cannot defend everything. And at a certain time, actually, even if you try to do that, even if you try to do this, we have rook sacrifice. We sack the rook for the bishop to open up lines for the pawn, if that makes sense. But this is winning. This is 100% winning. Okay. So, what other moves? What if he, for example, instead of taking here, what if he pushed the pawn? Well, the entire idea of putting the bishop here, that if he did not take, we can put the bishop on a7, and then we're stopping the pawn. Here, it doesn't matter what he actually does. King moves here, we can just put the bishop there. And as you can see, the white king is unable to touch this bishop because the bishop controls these two squares. And if white ever, wanted to go here, there's just a simple rook takes, tries to get closer, it doesn't really matter. Just a free pawn, and still going to be losing. So what other moves do we have? What other moves that white have? Well, actually, in this position, there is nothing. Just taking here. Taking here is the best thing, and after this check, he goes here, we take there, and he's going to try to win this pawn. It's not going to work, because after king here, he cannot play this move, because we can get closer. And I don't think he can actually win this pawn, because of this move, we pin and win, and then the king can get closer here. What if he moved the bishop first? Even if you move the bishop, there are many checks that the king can move anywhere, it doesn't matter. There is no possible way for him to win this pawn. And then we try to get the king closer, maybe reroute, like we need the king to be here or here, and then try to win it. And then we sack the rook for it, and then we push the pawn while he's going to try to take this pawn, move away, and promote. It's a very simple endgame, but the only move that you had to see is bishop to d4, and hopefully you managed to find it. Thank you for watching.